Princess Leonor wedding dress for Prince Christian cost €27 million. Everyone expected Princess Leonor to choose something elegant, something royal, something worthy of a future queen. That's normal. That's tradition. That's what Spain and Denmark believed would happen for the biggest royal wedding of 2025. But no one, absolutely no one, expected what surfaced today. Because 3 minutes ago, a confidential palace report leaked, revealing that Princess Leonor's wedding dress for Prince Christian has an estimated value of €27 million. And here's the part that's making Europe stop in its tracks: the price is not the shocking part. The real story is why the dress costs that much, because it's tied to a royal promise, a historical debt, and a symbolic message that could reshape the future of two monarchies. Today, we take you inside the mystery, the tension, the excitement, and the legacy behind the most expensive royal wedding dress Europe has ever seen. And the question we'll answer is simple: how can one dress carry the weight of two nations, two futures, and one historic love story? Let's begin where the whispers started. Hours ago, palace insiders revealed that Princess Leonor's wedding dress isn't just a garment. It isn't simply a couture masterpiece. It is an archive of history, a tribute to two royal bloodlines, and a deliberately designed symbol meant to communicate something the Spanish royal house has been holding back for months. At first, royal watchers thought the €27 million figure had to be exaggerated. Spain wouldn't allow it. Denmark wouldn't encourage it. No modern European monarchy would risk the public backlash of such a staggering sum. But then came the second leak, this time from a senior royal protocol officer in Madrid. According to the internal documents, the dress is crafted by a coalition of designers from Spain, Denmark, and a secret European atelier known for restoring royal heirlooms. And here is the first major curiosity loop: why would Leonor need a team that specializes in restoration? Why would a brand new wedding dress require the expertise of historians and royal archivists? Suddenly, the price makes more sense. Because this is not a new dress. It is partly constructed using ancestral royal fabric sourced from historic gowns dating back centuries. Some of the textile segments belong to preserved garments once worn by queens from the Bourbon and Glucksburg lines, monarchies tied to Leonor and Christian's families. This means the dress is not just expensive. It is priceless. And here lies the emotional twist no one saw coming. Queen Letizia reportedly fought against the idea when it was first proposed. Sources close to the palace say she feared the message it would send, that Leonor was prioritizing spectacle over responsibility, luxury over duty. She worried Spain's rising political pressure in 2025 would twist the narrative and paint her daughter as disconnected from reality. But the King of Spain, Leonor's father, saw it differently. He believed the symbolism mattered. He believed that if Leonor was truly stepping into her role as the future queen, she deserved to walk into her marriage wrapped not only in beauty but in history. Wrapped in legacy. Wrapped in proof that her future with Christian was not just a marriage but a merging of centuries. And here's where our second curiosity loop begins. If the dress contains royal heirloom materials, who approved their release? And why now? Royal inheritance fabrics are usually sealed, stored, and protected under strict conservation guidelines. A royal historian from Madrid offered the clue. He said the decision connects to an old promise King Felipe VI made long before Leonor ever became heir presumptive. A promise involving the future stability of the Spanish crown and a symbolic gesture that would only be activated when Leonor married. Which raises a deeper question: was this dress planned years ago? Before Leonor and Christian even became a public couple? Palace observers think the answer is yes. Let's move into the emotional core, because this is where everything becomes more personal, more human, and more powerful. When Princess Leonor first learned about the €27 million valuation, she reportedly reacted with shock. But not the kind of shock people expect from a royal. She wasn't stunned by the glamour, or the luxury, or the fame attached to it. According to someone close to her inner circle, Leonor's first words were, "It's too much. This should mean something, not just look beautiful." This is where the tone of the story shifts, because from this point forward, Leonor becomes the central force shaping this wedding dress into something meaningful. She requested modifications. She asked for sections dedicated to Spain's heritage. She wanted elements representing the Danish royal lineage. And most importantly, she demanded ethical sourcing, sustainable craftsmanship, and transparent public messaging. This is where the third curiosity loop opens. Why is a future queen so focused on transparency right before her wedding? What is she preparing the public for? Royal experts believe Leonor is trying to establish trust early, long before she ascends the throne. She knows the monarchy lives and dies by public support. And her marriage to Prince Christian is more than romantic, it is political, diplomatic, and symbolic. Now, let's go deeper into the details of the dress itself, because this is where the craftsmanship turns the 27 million euros figure into something almost understandable, almost logical. The dress reportedly includes hand-woven gold thread embroidery sourced from 18th-century royal vaults, a restored lace pattern once belonging to Isabella II, a new silk created exclusively for this wedding, produced by a Spanish workshop that had to reopen an ancient loom. Gemstone micro-detailing using repurposed jewels from dismantled royal accessories. A shoulder design inspired by Queen Margrethe's iconic early gowns. And a hidden interior layer made from fabric associated with the lineage of the Danish monarchs. This isn't fashion. This is diplomacy in cloth form. A treaty of silk and history. But let's talk about Prince Christian, because his reaction surprised everyone inside Amalienburg. When he learned the full truth behind the dress, he reportedly said something that moved palace staff. If this dress carries her legacy, then she deserves every thread. This emotional exchange, private, simple, human, adds weight to the story. Because beneath the politics, beneath the expectations, beneath the pressure of becoming Europe's next royal power couple, Leonor and Christian are still two young people preparing for the most important day of their lives. And yet, every choice they make is magnified. Now the fourth curiosity loop opens. If the dress is this symbolic, what does it mean for their future? Is this wedding shaping up to be the most strategic royal union since the early 1900s? Royal analysts now believe the dress is a message. A declaration. A subtle proclamation that Leonor and Christian are stepping forward not as teenagers, not as figureheads, but as future monarchs who understand legacy, continuity, and responsibility. Let's move into the quiet emotional part of the script. Imagine Leonor standing in the fitting room, surrounded by designers, tailors, historians, and royal staff. Imagine the mirrors reflecting not just a bride, but a history she is inheriting, a crown she is preparing for, a nation she is learning to carry. Reports say she became emotional during her first fitting. Not because of the beauty. Not because of the luxury. But because she finally understood what her parents had been preparing her for her entire life. Responsibility. Duty. Her future. And yet, even in that moment, she asked the team a simple question. Will people understand the meaning behind this? This question is what drives the fifth curiosity loop. What does Leonor fear? What does she want the public to see? And what is she trying to communicate through her wedding dress? Experts believe she wants to show unity. Unity between Spain and Denmark. Unity between tradition and modernity. Unity between history and the future. Now let's explore the rising tension. A small political group in Spain criticized the dress's cost, calling it unnecessary during economic pressure. But royal spokespeople responded with clarity, the dress is privately funded, not paid through public money. The heirloom materials were authorized, not purchased. And the craftsmanship supports artisans whose work preserves European cultural heritage. And here, the sixth curiosity loop opens. Was this response prepared in advance? Did the palace anticipate the backlash? If so, what else have they prepared for the wedding? Now let's shift back to the emotional tone, the heart of Leonor and Christian's relationship. When Christian saw the early sketch of the dress, he reportedly smiled and said, "She looks like the future." And this brings us into the final section of the narrative, the deep emotional payoff. In 2025, the world has watched Princess Leonor transform from a quiet heir to a confident future queen. Her marriage to Prince Christian is not just a romance, it is a chapter that will shape two monarchies. Her dress, valued at 27 million euros, is not the story. The meaning infused into every thread is the story. The unity it represents is the story. The courage she shows by embracing the weight of history is the story. And when she walks down the aisle toward Prince Christian, she will be wearing more than a dress. She will be wearing the story of Spain, the heritage of Denmark, and the beginning of a future that the world will be watching for decades. Because sometimes, a dress is not just a dress. Sometimes, it is a promise. And Princess Leonor's €27 million masterpiece is exactly that, a promise stitched into fabric, prepared for the moment she steps into the role she was born for.